Hello, YouTube family. Thank you for coming back to watch another episode of Pips and Points. I'm your host, Jono, and we're just going to get into it right now. So first thing we're going to talk about is what we always talk about, which is the Nas100, the favorite pair. That is the headliner of this whole channel. It's Nas100. But also we're going to look at other pairs as well. So we'll probably be looking at recapping on EURUSD, GBPJPY, okay, and we'll also be looking at gold and also be looking at silver. We're just going to be recapping on those because we put in phantom orders and just to see how they're getting on. All right, and yeah, we'll take it from there. So the first things first is on the 6th. So on the 26th of December, which was a Sunday night, okay, I was somewhat disappointed because the market basically was at this level. So the market was basically at this level right here, right? This level, actually, let me draw a little box on it. So the market was at this level here, right? And I assume because all of this, so this whole area here hadn't happened, right? I assumed that this structure would have been legit, therefore meaning a pull down from this level would have been legitimate, okay? But however, the opposite happened. As you can clearly see, it is traveling on its way up and it's reached this point and it's now on its way back down again, right? It's on its way back down again, right? So let's have a quick look to see how this looks. Let's get rid of this. Okay. Okay, so what we have is this could be a potential channel forming because this area over here is a lower low compared to its most recent all-time high, which is this over here, right? And this is obviously confirmed with this price action level right here. So obviously it's gone that far and it's now returning down, and I'm now hoping. So I'm hoping. I've grabbed my rosary. I'm praying to it. Please, 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 I need you, Nas100, to come down here. That's what I need, right? But however, if I'm to be realistic about this overall situation, I think that the actual scenario that we might be getting is something along the lines of this. Come back here, boom. Come back here. And then come back here. And then bang. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking could happen, but ideally, what I said earlier is what I'm hoping for to happen in this situation. So obviously you will know, since I started this channel, which is not too long ago, I've been waiting for a perfect position, like a situation like this is what I've been waiting for, in all fairness, right? And I saw this when this happened, but I left it. I decided that we're going to leave this and wait for another one, and then obviously I completely ignored that because I knew what this was. And then this came along, which was the closest to what I was asking for, and I still left it. And guess what? It actually came back for me. It came back right here and said, "Hey, Jono, are you sure you don't want to jump on? Are you sure?" And I was like, "Nah, I'm alright. I'll see you when you get back into the sweet spot." And you know what it did? It never looked back. Boom. Never looked back. Straight gone all the way. So this is it right here. Never look back. Now I am praying and hoping that it returns back to where it was so that I may jump on a boat and I too may be blessed with the forever riches of the Nas100. It is, you know what I mean, it is a fantastic asset to be able to play with. But like I say, look, I'm stuck. I gotta wait. So now I've got to wait until it pulls back down here, and see what we can do. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring in a fib, and I'm just going to put in a phantom trade, so a phantom sell order. Wait, that's wrong. Yep, we're going to put in a phantom sell order, and we're going to see how that's going to go. We're putting a phantom sell order, right? And Fibonacci says we could jump in right here. So Fibonacci says we can do a market buy right now. We can literally say to hell with it. So we're going to do a market buy right now, and this level right here, 1594, is ideally the perfect place. It's not greed, it's nice, it's humble, it's respectable. You know, you should have your fill and you leave with grace. Or there's my style, golden gecko style, pure greed, all the way to zero, 100%. That's what I want. So that's in there at 100%. Okay, 100%. And we've done a market buy, so it's going to be a little bit in there. So we're just going to say, yeah, it's a red, because you know whenever you put in a market buy, you catch a bit of red. So done a market buy. It's red at the moment. So it's red at the moment, okay. Like I said, I have a feeling what it's going to do because of where it is. But for the sake of this video, keeping it entertaining, etc., we want to put in a sell order, because ideally, at this level, what do? You sell, you don't buy, right? So I'm going to put in a sell order, and we're going to keep an eye on this in the coming days and weeks to see what it does. If it does deliver, if it does go to where I'm hoping it's going to go, which is not this box, because this box has expired now. So it's now, so it's this region, or yeah. So basically, yeah, I already know where it needs to go. So let's get rid of that. These two boxes are no longer needed anymore. So yeah, so once he arrives in the desired location, I will be making my purchase, and I hope it does arrive at the desired location, which will be from between because it could go lower, and anywhere around this region, because I don't really want to say it, the pricing, don't want to put it out there. I just want it in this region, but I don't think it's going to give me a new lower low. To be fair, I don't think I'm going to get a new lower low. If anything, I mean, even look at the relationship between that and that, it's barely anything in terms of how much lower this is compared to that, you know. So chances are it will probably be around this level here somewhere, and if it is, it's perfect. It is perfect. I mean, when I actually see this structure, I would know what it means, and I would know that I would know what to do once it gets to this level. So we're just going to play this little game, see if it comes down here. It's going to be a little bit fun. If it comes down here, then yeah, great. You know what I mean? We pick some up. So let's save this, and we'll keep an eye on it, and we'll come back to it in the coming days and weeks, depending on how fast it takes to get to where you need to get to. So the next asset that we're going to look at right now is the EURUSD. Right, EURUSD, and EURUSD is looking good at the moment. It is looking good. After I've done this, I've been playing around with this little channel for a bit, so I'll explain what I did here. So just to explain what's going on, so what we have here at this moment in time is, let me just change the colors. So let's do okay, so let's change the color to, let's say black. Black. Okay, so what we have here is, so in this area right here, it is a channel. Okay, we can all agree that it's a channel going here. We got the touch one, boom, touch two. Well, it was actually one touch. Actually, one touch went very quick. Then we got one touch, barely a touch, but a touch and another touch, and no touch, but a touch up here, right? And what I've done here is another channel that has emerged within the channel, and you can obviously see there's lots of channels within the channels. I mean, I can take the time out and draw it all out for you, so you can actually see all the different channels within this channel. So you got a channel here, got a channel here. Let me make the spinner, it's too fat. Okay, so you got a channel here. There's another one here also. There's another one here also. Right. And that's where it would have broken to go up to the upside. But ideally, what you would have been looking for is you were looking for all your buys on this trend line over here and all your sells on that trend line up here. Do you know what I mean? And the Fibonacci that we didn't use to place this order, which is what we should have done to begin with, right, would have given us that entry at this level would have been ideal. Okay, now if I go back and change it, technically I'm cheating, so I'm just going to leave it as it is, because sometimes, even as I do trade, sometimes the fill will be at a level when you actually, if you don't say, if I don't put in a pending order and I actually jump into the market, a lot of the time I'm responding after the fact, and because I could be away from the actual desired fib level that I wanted to get in on, and therefore you place a trade somewhere along the lines later on somewhere, and that's what happens. So more or less I would normally follow the fibs to the T, but in this case we did do what would have been considered a trailing stop, because remember, this is a phantom order, so we're just putting everything on and seeing what happens. So with that in mind now, that's what's happened. But the ideal place to actually place this order would have been up here. So if I zoom in, you see exactly what I'm talking about. This level right here would have been the sweet spot for the order, and that was what was recommended. So that was what the fib recommended, this order. So let me just move this line over here. But obviously, so we're just going to say that we was having a coffee, we missed the alert, we came back, we saw it, and we quickly jumped back in. And these are massive 4-hour wicks, so how that was missed, only God knows, but yeah, that's what happens. That's what happened. Okay, and that's looking profitable. And now we've got another channel that has emerged, and that is obviously sliding down. So we're going to see how that goes. But overall, with the EURUSD, I'm actually still confused in regards to what direction I think is actually going to go in. I don't know what direction this is going to go in at all. I don't have a clue what direction it wants to go in. My best guess in all fairness is I don't know. I have to be brutally honest, I don't know. I have to wait and see what it does. But this channel, if anything, when it comes to trading, this is something that I have come to realize as I've been trading, is that although channels can be annoying, sometimes when the market is indecisive and you really want to get some profits, these things can actually be your friend, just as long as you're not placing orders in the middle, right? These things can actually be your friend. So in this case where I don't know what's going on, a channel is going to help me figure out what is going on, because all I'm going to do is just play it safe and just play the channel until I get a decision somewhere along the line. So that's what we're doing here right now, playing the channel, and we're going to see if this continues down until it hits the TP. And obviously we're going to be tracking this over the coming days and weeks to see how long it takes to get there. Okay, how long it takes. Let's go to weekly and see how that looks. Yeah, that could be another week or two, give or take. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible we could actually go into a week or two with this whole situation over here. So we see how that plays out. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to look at now is we're going to look at gold and see what's been happening there. Okay, so I've actually got a confession to make. With gold, I literally moved the stop. So this order here, I think the stop was about here somewhere, And yesterday after I'd done the video, I was like, you know what, let me just move it to the same level as the original stop. So that's what I've done. I've moved it over to that level, so it's more parallel, which basically means if this was a real trade, the risk in this trade would be quite high. It would be quite high, because don't forget, I've averaged in again, and even though I'm profitable on the second trade, I'm negative on that trade. So it really has to come down to save my bacon. Basically, it has to come down. It has to. But however, I believe it will. But I just don't know when it's going to do it. So why do I believe it is going to do that? Why do I believe it's going to do that? Well, two things. The structure of this situation right here tells me it's going to break down, but the problem is, right, and there actually is a problem, is I have to be ready to jump out very soonish. You know why? Because this funnel, although this channel, I always keep calling it a funnel, although this channel, it is on an upward trend, meaning that at some point there is a very good chance it could break to come down. All right, so let's draw the channel. So it's doing that. Depending on when it chooses to break, so it could break here, or it may never break, right? I could end up getting triggered out. If we have 4 touches, right? So I'm assuming I'm getting a third touch now, and the third touch, I'm going to need to decide if I'm going to jump out of this trade, okay, and take a little bit of a hit, because I will still be in the red in this trade, right? Or I could turn around and say, okay, I'm going to hold this trade, the red trade, the bad one, okay, but I will take profit with the good one, all right, and I will wait until it reaches back up here again, okay, because reason being is this level is being obeyed, right? This level is being obeyed, and a decision is going to get made on this level. Either a bad decision, a decision that's going to help me is going to get made on this level, or a decision that is going to completely destroy me is going to be made on this level. But this level right here is to be respected. Why? Because this is a price action level over here, and this same price action level is more or less adhered to at this area here, where this thing kind of breaches it. And when it breaches it, what that tells me is that the next level up may also breach it. Which means if it's going to be respected, it will probably be respected after the third touch. But if there is a fourth touch, it could be red. And this is where you've actually got to decide as a trader how much risk you want to take on. Because at this point right now, there's only one more move that you can make. So say for example, I'll make that move now. So the move now is I'm just going to go slightly above the fib level, okay? So this is my absolute maximum I can take on this situation right here. I can't take any more than this. I have to be closed out, okay? So this is what I'm hoping for. This is the situation that I'm hoping for, okay? And I'm hoping that at this level right here, I'm going to close something. Right? So we'll see how this goes in the coming days. But yeah, so far, gold is not looking too good, and gold is known for doing like things like this. But it's a good asset to trade, especially if you want to learn technical analysis properly, because you're going to need a place where you're going to be made uncomfortable, and gold is not going to make you comfortable. It's going to make you very uncomfortable, and it's not going to be delicate with you at all. Do you know what I mean? Because it's a high value asset, so you're gonna feel it in your capital as well for every mistake you make, which is gonna force you to really sharpen up quickly. All right, as well as the directions is never really clear. It does obey rules, but sometimes it does its own thing. So we're gonna keep these little drawings that we've got here just to help us, well, just to help me determine what is actually happening as it's happening, because we're in the red at the moment. And the thing is, like, when you're trading, is that the best part of trading, to be fair, happens to be the worst part of trading, which is when you're trying to manage the reds. So right now what we're doing is managing the red. This is a phantom trade, but we actually are managing the red, where we're like, okay, we're in the red right now and we want to come out in the blue or in the green. And what's the best way of doing that? The best way of doing that would be to take on more risk. That would be, in my opinion, how I would do it. And once again, this is not financial advice. It's just like how I like to go about doing things. Do you know what I mean? And bearing in mind, it's like with investing or trading, etc., you can lose more than you initially set out. And this is a perfect case in situation of you losing more than you originally set out. So you came in, you put in this risk, was happy with that. Now the risk is now doubled, more or less. Do you know what I mean? So 50% of risk has now been added to, no, 25% of risk has now been added to the original 50%. Do you know what I mean? So this is what we're looking at right now. So these are things that you're gonna have to bear in mind if this is something that you want to do. And like I said, and I said it earlier, and I want to say it again, but clearly this time, which is that this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. I'm just an average guy that has taken the time to figure this out. I'm still figuring it out, and I figured I'd come out here and share all of this with you guys, because chances are there's somebody on here or a group of people on here that's way smarter than I am that can come in and definitely offer in some really nice inputs in regards to how we go about doing things. And that's what I'm kind of here for. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, so literally this was happening right here. Not fun at all, but this is a good thing to learn if you're serious about learning. Hence why, but however, if you're actually looking at this in a monetary concept, where you're actually looking at the money's all red, and it's sometimes focusing on the money, you would miss what's happening here, because your emotions is tied into the loss of the money that you're experiencing right now, or the loss of pips, and that is with all the red that you're seeing up here. So that would be obviously visualized as a negative in your balance, and that there would either help you, depending on the type of person you are, to either come back and really analyze the structure of what is going on with your particular asset, so you know if it's worth holding on to, or if you want to cut it as early as possible. And cutting as early as possible may sometimes mean taking on more risk, just so that you can get out with reduced losses. And that's what we're doing here. So we've taken on more risk to reduce the losses should we get something a bit more favorable. And this funnel has given us the indicator that we can actually do that. And it wasn't the funnel that we used initially to begin this process. We actually used this price action level, as if it hit this level right here, we was gonna sell some more, right? But however, it's gone up and it's hit this diagonal level to let us know that it's obeying this little trend line right here. So because it's obeying this little trend line right here, I am fair to assume that in this shape, with the rising wedge going upwards, okay, this place here will be a good place for me to jump out. So getting away with overnight fees might not be likely. It's just going to be a reduced loss that I will be experiencing if I'm able to get out around this level. And I could get out around this level here. So get out around this level, so that'll be this particular trade, out of it, boom, right? So let's say I take out this trade. That basically means I'm still in a red of this trade, and what I will have to do is wait for this particular asset to get up here again to put in another order. Do you know what I mean? Just to try to make it make sense, and hopefully if it does break and pushes down, I'm able to catch everything. So that's how I would play the situation, but we're going to keep an eye on this in the coming days and coming weeks, just to make sure that the overall assessment that I'm saying about this is it's as correct or as correct as it can be, because I'm only human, right? I mean, I don't know everything. I had to learn this too. So okay, so the next thing that we're going to look at right now, the next asset class we're going to look at is silver. Okay, all right, so silver too. Obviously, after the video I did go on to do more analyzing, hence why you're seeing this trend line at the bottom. Yeah, so with this trend line, why I drew this trend line was I was looking at how this particular asset is moving upwards, so how it's just moving, gliding up, and I'm expecting it to break. I am actually expecting it to break at some point. So this is how I'm seeing it right here. So I'm seeing, so this is one, right, and this was going to be two, right, but for this to mean anything it needs to be bigger. So if it gets to about here, right, then I'll be expecting a pullback to this trend line right here. Then it might do that, at which point my my trailing stop, which will be getting lifted as we move along, will be brought up to this level. So technically speaking, right, yeah, I'm actually able to protect some assets right now, but the thing is that what tends to happen with the big banks is they can see everyone's stops basically, right? So if you didn't know, I'm here to tell you that they can see everybody's stops, right? Everybody's stops. And what they like to do, right, is they will do a liquidity grab, right? So they will push price all the way down to do a liquidity grab. So at the moment right now, liquidity grab is, I wish I could make this a favorite, but I can't. I don't know how to make this a favorite, but so this is here, it's a liquidity level, right? These are liquidity levels. So liquidity level right here, and liquidity level right here. You can kind of see where the liquidity levels are. Literally, I mean, they're not difficult to spot at all. I mean, they're very straightforward, because you got to think, where would you put your stop loss? And wherever you put your stop loss, that's the liquidity level, right? Yeah, and the banks can see it. They can see it, right? So with that in mind, as though I want to bring in my trading stop here, right? I actually don't. I want to bring in my trading stop once something like this has completed and landed above here, right? And but my main thing that I'm kind of trying to figure out right now is that this move, so this impulsive move here, right, this second one has to be bigger than this one, right? And at the moment it kind of looks like it is, but my ambitious thought is telling me that it should get to at least this level. All right, so if it does, that's fantastic. I'll wait for the pullback here, and this would be a perfect spot for me to add more positions, right? Perfect spot for me to add more positions on top, because either way, all it is I'll wait for the confirmation on the upside, I'll pick some up, and then I'll move my trailing stop down to the bottom, okay, right? And I'll also move my stop loss to actually cover that position also. So worst case scenario, I got all of that clean and a little bit of whatever, a little bit of red or whatever, but it's gonna be nothing. It's not even gonna even register as a loss. Do you know what I mean? But this move here is the tricky part. So for the meantime, this actually is a solid move. It looks good. I like it. I like how it's moving. Right. I'm gonna keep this diagonal line in place to see if it breaks it, because this is like my visual representative to let me know if it's gonna break the trend line or not. Okay, and it's also letting me know when it breaks. It's when it breaks is when it's actually letting me know when the banks are going after everyone's liquidity. Alright, so I know that they're going after people's stops, and so anyone that didn't buy here but picked up here, or potentially here may get wiped out if a liquidity grab is activated, and they do this all the time. That's what happens when you say it's the broker. But it's not actually the broker. It is the big banks doing it. The brokers are at their mercy, just like you are at their mercy. And what the brokers like to do, the ones that don't like to play fair, is that they will increase your leverage as it's falling. Right now, I'm not going to mention any names, but I know brokers that do this, right? And how you tell them apart is the ones that advertise the most usually are interesting to invest with. So you have an interesting time getting to know each other. Like, that's all I'll say. That's all I'll say. Don't really want to slander anybody over here, but you learn that obviously that it was all in the terms and conditions. Okay, so they didn't lie to you or mislead you, but who bothers to read terms and conditions? And also keep an eye out for the guys that always update the terms and conditions, say once every 2 weeks or once a week. Things are always changing. The rules are never the same. Right, keep an eye out for those guys too. Right, yeah, so this is all looking great. And we're going to leave that as it is. There's nothing more I can do. There is no other scenarios I can add in there, but we just see how it plays out. So I believe we've talked about gold and we've talked about silver. Okay, so finally, GBPJPY. Let's look at that. Okay, so GBPJPY was one that we looked at yesterday. Obviously, I sung its praises, still do, because it's a pair that I'm very familiar with. It's really helped me in my journey to become a trader, and I definitely recognize it as such. Okay, so what we did was we put in a sell order right here. The fib recommended we take the sell over here, but obviously I took the sell at the price action level, which is right here. Okay, and right now it looks like it is going to fall, but at the same time I've also been given a signal, which is over here, of which is known as consolidation of confirmation I got it all wrong. Okay, so basically what this usually, the textbook word, that's what I was trying to get at, and I got it all mixed up. I can't exactly pull it out of thin air what it is, but basically it is it's consolidating to confirm continuation of the trend. See, when said slowly, nailed it one time. Bing. Right, so basically consolidation of confirmation of continuation of the trend. So that's what this little situation is right now. Right now it's confirmed the trend, and the trend has gone up. Now the worrying part about this whole situation is, what is this going to look like? What is this here going to look like? So am I getting another situation right here? But it looks like a flat top, because that's the only wick that's gone above and everything is below. Whereas usually what you get is you get the little rise in, it hit the top, and then everything comes down. So I don't know what this is. This actually looks like what I always say, a funnel. So it's looking like this right now. And once again, my apologies for the sirens in the background. Okay, yep, so this actually looking like a funnel. I mean, yeah, like a funnel. So we've got what looks like a flat top and what looks like an opening downwards. Now we're gonna see how this opens, if it continues down or not. That I believe is going to push down. I actually believe it's going to break and push down, but time will tell, and we'll know that in the coming days and coming weeks. Okay, so at the moment, everything that we've done so far looks relatively cool. We're going to keep tracking it to see what's happening, and hopefully, should an opportunity in gold come up where obviously we can escape out of it, we'll hop out of gold, and I would like to then bring in a new symbol. I want to thank you, family, for coming over and watching. this episode. I really appreciate all of you, your time, your precious time for coming over, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video tomorrow, in regards to more pips and more points, more opportunities, and where we're going to be able to evaluate everything that we're doing and how we're doing it. So once again, thank you very much. It's been a blessing. It's been a blessing having you come to view this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. And if you haven't done so already, please hit the like button, please hit the share button, and please hit the subscribe button, just to help the algorithms and to help the algorithms and to help me and to help the growth of this channel. So thank you, and have yourself an awesome day.